What's up guys, my name's Petey from Charlie Intel. So Infinity Ward posted a pretty extensive list of changes they're making to Infinite Warfare, which they posted on Reddit, based on data and feedback they collected from the beta, which took place over the last couple of weeks, of course, on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now, in yesterday's video, I highlighted the changes to time to kill and dedicated servers, so be sure to check that out if, of course, you're interested in those changes. They were pretty big issues in the beta, in my opinion, and I think many people agreed, in terms of the time to kill being far, far too quick, and the dedicated servers being anything but dedicated and anything but working servers. So within the list that Infinity Ward posted on Reddit based on the changes they made since the beta, there are some big and small changes within that list, including some very controversial ones, such as the sniper nerf. Now, I won't talk about that in this video because it's a very conflicted subject in the Call of Duty community, so I really don't think there's a right or wrong answer to that as to whether the changes are a good or a bad thing. Some people like the changes, some people hate the changes. I think we'll have to wait until the final game comes out before we make our final judgment on that. But by the looks of things, they've made some significant changes to snipers to make it not as easy to snipe in general, which I kind of think is a good thing because the Infinite Warfare beta was quite ridiculous in some aspects in terms of how people were using snipers and that kind of thing as well. So that's a welcome change in my book, but of course, until the final game comes out, we have no idea how that's going to impact the actual gameplay in multiplayer. Now, in this video, I want to quickly cover some of the pretty significant changes they've made, which should make the multiplayer experience better, alongside the time to kill changes we've already covered on my channel. So first up, they've gone ahead and reduced the time it takes for your health to regenerate within Infinite Warfare multiplayer. Now, interestingly enough, I actually noticed this fairly quickly when I first started playing the Infinite Warfare beta on PlayStation 4. So after entering a gunfight or receiving damage from an explosion, for example, the time it took me to reach 100% health again felt noticeably longer than previous Call of Duty games, but I couldn't really put my finger on it. I couldn't really compare it to Black Ops 3, for example, because of course, every gunfight was different and every damage received was quite different depending on the circumstance. So it was very difficult to actually work out whether that made any sense, and it was noticeably slower in Infinite Warfare. But what I could say is that whenever I tried to re-enter a gunfight after receiving damage in Infinite Warfare, I got melted immediately, and I can only assume that's based on the fact, of course, that the time to regenerate my health was slightly longer than previous Call of Duty games. So I guess that also ties into the time to kill, because oftentimes if you received any kind of damage from the opposing enemy, most of the time you couldn't re-engage into a gunfight with a new enemy because you just get melted straight away. So fingers crossed this change will have a noticeable impact in terms of the actual gunfights you enter and how long you have to actually put up a fight against the next enemy after dropping the previous one. So again, fingers crossed that actually ties into time to kill, and it's a noticeable improvement when multiplayer comes around on November 4th. They've also gone ahead and made changes to the spawn logic within the game. So the official wording on the Reddit post is that continuing to refine spawn systems on beta maps will assess remaining launch maps in live environment. Now, I think we can all agree that when the beta came around on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, the spawns were incredibly inconsistent in some maps. Specifically, Frontier, I found it was actually quite bad. So oftentimes you'd actually spawn behind an enemy that just spawned in front of you, so you just shoot them from the back and that was it. It was game over for them, and oftentimes the same happens to you. So you'd spawn, and then within the same area, someone else would spawn on the opposing team or the enemy team, and then you just get melted straight away. So there was definitely issues with the actual spawn logic, in my opinion. So hopefully these fixes and improvements they've made to the beta maps will also follow on to the live maps once the final game comes out on release day. But again, I think we can all agree there was a definite issue there. So hopefully they've finally got to actually working on the spawn logic and made some good improvements. So let me know what you think about these sniper changes and the matchmaking and time to kill changes in the comment section below, alongside the health regeneration and spawns you noticed and experienced in the Infinite Warfare beta also. Make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and as always, subscribe for further Charlie Intel content every 1 to 2 days. Thanks for watching guys, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.